So one of my favorite memories of Dono was 4 or 5 years ago. I was going to a conference with the youth group,
and we were going to the O2 Experience conference, and we got in the car with him.
I was like really taken aback with how friendly he was.
I just remember thinking like, this is like a crazy dude, like he's wild and he's hyper, like this is a little weird.
He offered everyone in the car peppermint oil, and that was like before essential oils was like a big deal and all. And he like offered it to us. He's like, here, take this, it makes your breath smell good. And at first I was offended, like, wait, my breath still doesn't smell good? But then I was like, wait, this is weird. Why is he giving this to me?
And he's like, you have to try this. So like we put it on our hand and he's like, well, you have to lick it. So we like put it on our wrist and then like we licked it. One of the other girls started complaining about feeling sick, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I have a headache. And I was like, did he poison us?
And then afterwards my stomach kind of hurt a little bit, and the other kids in the car were complaining about their stomachs were hurting. And I was like, oh no, he drugged all of us and we're all gonna die.
But he didn't, and the conference was good. We had a blast, and the ride back was amazing. Everyone was on fire. I think one of the girls got saved, and we had a blast after that. And then we saw him at church a couple days later, and we were like, oh, it's the crazy peppermint oil dude. I don't even think I knew his name yet.
During YSF, I was sitting on a chase boat, and I was really bored watching everyone else race, and I was just sitting there. It was kind of cold. And I remember Dono came on a 420 that he was soloing, and he saw me on the chase boat, and he's like, Matthew, come with me, and we'll race. It's a good memory, because I was bored. Dono came out of nowhere, saved me from the boredom. It's a fun time. He's helped me in my life with music and allowing me to do the glockenspiel for the band and playing the cello for children's ministry. And I had never thought the cello in children's ministry could work, but it was fun and I did it. It was good stuff.
I think my favorite memory of Dono in a silly perspective of like us doing stupid stuff was probably when Buddy threw the jar of peanut butter. He tried to throw it to the other boat and it landed in the water, and you heard this huge pop sound. It was like, and the cap flew off and the peanut butter started sinking, and Dono was like, I'm not having this. So he dove into the water to get the peanut butter. And we were all cheering, and I'm pretty sure we were throwing carrots at each other that day too. It was a good time. That might be my favorite memory of Dono being a dork. But it was good. It was good.
One of my favorite memories with Donathan would have to be when I was going to a Sesa regatta, and this was with YSF, and Donathan was the chaperone, and he was taking me and the team to wherever this regatta was at. But it was like a 3-hour-long car ride, and the whole ride there, I would tell a story, and then Donathan would tell a story, and then I would tell a story, and Dono would tell a story. And I learned so much about Donathan, and he learned a lot about me because we didn't know each other too well at the time, but it was a fun experience.
We had anchored and everyone just collapsed on their boats, and Miss Jen and I decided we were going to go on snack rotation, I guess, and we just took all of our extra snacks and extra food and went to each boat. We went to my dad's boat first, and I realized I could not see him anywhere. And then I looked up on the bow and he was sleeping on the jib. So we drive up, he really wasn't asleep. He just sticks out his hand and we just throw him a sandwich, an apple, some cereal, and he just goes right back to sleep. So that's my dad.
My favorite memory from Called Higher with Dono was when we were oyster bagging and shelling and like helping protect the lagoon, because it was just really cool, like helping protect our lagoon and like making a difference in our environment.
Favorite memory is that time on my first Called Higher trip when we all went swimming at Mosquito Island, and then we came back in the cabin, we were drying off and stuff, and Ryan sat down on the couch, right? And Donald walked in and he was like, hey, no wet bums on the couch. And Ryan stood up and he's like, I'm not wet. And Donna goes, no damp bums on the couch. And Ryan like sat there looking for a little bit and he's like, define damp. And Donna goes, get off the couch.
So my favorite memory is during the West Palm trip when Karis and I woke up really early and we got on the deck of Scintilla, we just started worshiping, and it was amazing. And as people started to wake up, they would join us. It was really amazing being able to worship God all together as a group. And I think maybe later that day or another day, I was in the salon of Scintilla, and I was standing by the radio, and I overheard someone like talking to another boat saying like, "Watch your wake, you kook. Ain't my divers, you hobo." Like, I told people about it, and it became like the trip thing where people would be like, "Watch your wake, you kook," and it was really funny.
Hi, Dono. I just wanted to say thank you for everything. And so some of my memories that I liked was I was sitting on a boat, a sailboat, and I saw a dolphin in arm's reach. I also liked going on the dinghy and doing the tiller.
My best memory with Dono is on one of the first trips. We were jumping off the boats and stuff. He had pushed me off and kind of scared me. I don't know, and there was a ton of jellyfish in the water, and it terrified me. It was so funny.
One of my favorite memories with Dono is when we were really little, and he took like a bunch of us kids to Charles Park, and he videoed us running around and doing the fitness challenge, and he made us do a bunch of crazy things. And when we got back to his house, he made it into a video, and I've always remembered that because it was like such a fun time with him and his family.
One of my favorite memories in Called Higher is probably being on the island, like my first Called Higher trip, because it was kind of like, what Called Higher for me, it gives you like the responsibility, but it also makes you kind of be a kid again, almost. So I just enjoyed kind of just running around the island and just being kind of weird with my friends. We grab sticks and we would fake blood with the berries because, you know, why not? And it was just fun.
My favorite memory from Donathan is probably meeting him one Sunday when I was probably 9 or 10 before we moved here. That was like my first exposure to sailing, and I thought it was really cool, so that's why I joined.
The funniest experience I've ever had with Donathan that I've ever remembered is when he first came to our house. He didn't even knock on the door, he just came right in.
He came into our house and opened up our fridge.
He just went to our fridge saying, "Oh, I'm starving," and started eating our food right out of our fridge.
And ate probably whatever he could see.
Oh man, it was funny.
If I had to choose a favorite memory of Called Higher or just fellowshipping with the people involved in that program, I'd probably say that it was the recent Ignite trip that we went on. That's mainly because of the Ignite crew that went. It was super cool to fellowship with people that weren't that much older than us, but that were super on fire for God, and like just talking with them, I felt like I came away with a lot. It was really cool to hear their testimonies and their experiences. It was just a really good time of fellowship.
So my favorite memory of Dono was our Fort Pierce / ocean trip. I took this 4-hour nap, which was pretty common. I would take long naps. I was hungry, and the Maranatha crew ate dinner without me because they wanted to let me sleep. I was upset, and it was pouring rain, and I sucked my head out the tarp and was just like, "Dono, I'm hungry. I need food." And the guys are like, "Oh man, you're not gonna get any food, I'm sorry." But sure enough, there he comes in the dinghy, and he's got 3 meatball subs. That was one of the best nights of my life. I was so hungry, and meatball subs have never tasted better.
And there was a storm. It was dark and stormy summer camp. And so one of the catamarans, the side stay had broken and the mast had fallen off. So they get all the kids off and they motor him back in. But Brendan and Matthew are still out there like rolling up the sails and stuff. So Shane was like on the dock and he had the inflatable and he was like, "All right, I need one more person." So I run down to the inflatable, I hop in, and so Shane goes, he's like, you know, in the inflatable. We're going out, and so we get there, and well, we get about halfway there, and Shane looks at me, he's like, "You don't have a life jacket." I'm like, "Oh no, I don't." And so he made me like lie down, like not actually lie down, but like get low in the boat so I don't fly out. the storm's getting closer and the winds are howling all around. And so it starts to rain. Well, I think it starts to rain. I can see it coming. So I look at him because we're circling, and I look at him. I feel a bunch of tiny things hitting my face. I'm like, this is not rain, this is hail. And I look at Shane, I'm like, this is hail. And Shane's like, finally, after it seemed like 20 minutes, Brennan and Matthew are done, and they get on top, and I'm holding on to the catamaran over the side of the inflatable, and we bring it in, and that was basically it. But that was really fun.
It was me, Connor, and Christian. I think there's a couple other people. We stayed on an island, and the mosquitoes were horrible, just horrendous. And we decided to go to one of the boats, and we were paddling along, and all of a sudden you just hear this little tiny dinghy just fly by us and water's going everywhere. We're flipping out because we think it's the police, but it's really just Dono. Like, what are you guys doing out here? And it's just hilarious, and that's just something I remember from Dono, so.
I haven't been in Called Higher for like a super long time, but in the time that I have joined it, I'm really glad that I did, because I've gotten to know all the people a lot better and just see how Donathan just takes time every Tuesday to minister to all the kids and just take them out sailing, and then he takes time after it to clean all the boats, and just, it really is his ministry, and it's really made an impact on me. Just showing me that like God provides for everything, and like when you really trust in him and pray and just believe in him, he'll provide for you, and like it's just really impacted me on how he takes time every Tuesday to just make relationships with all the kids.
Yeah, like Dono has really showed us how to do that well, and I think that he's also showed us that with an eternal mindset, it's the like fullest way to live. And it's just fulfilling. It's like a really satisfying, true, sincere, right way to go through life, and I think that he's done a really good job of showing me and the rest of Called Higher that.
So I guess like being a part of the choir has really taught me the importance and the beauty of the joy of the Lord through worshiping and just being with other believers. Like whenever we go up and we sing, or just even practicing, like just being there, like you feel like so spirit-filled, and like Dono and Kim do such a great job at directing the choir, just to experience that joy of the Lord and to let that really drive your worship and your singing. And it's just been such a great experience to be a part of that choir.
He's impacted me spiritually with how he handles Called Higher in all of his ministries, and just letting God take the reins and just letting him go with it, and not saying, no, I want to do it this way, when God says this way would be better in the long run.
I guess one way Called Higher has really impacted me is getting me out of my comfort zone. Mostly physically. I despise tilting on boats. And ever since I started Called Higher, it's been a lot easier. And simply just hanging out with people has been a lot easier since joining with Called Higher. And I kind of have to thank my dad for that, because I might have not joined in the first place if it wasn't for him, so.
I didn't really have a real relationship with the Lord before I met Dono. I remember my first time at Called Higher. He made me feel really comfortable, and he gave me a Bible, and I knew like it was where I had to be. It was where the Lord wanted me to be, and his theme for then was praying for God to start a fire in my heart for the Lord, and I did, and it was awesome because I felt it work, and I felt God work through me, and that was because of Dono, and he's amazing, and he's really helped me in my walk with God. After meeting Dono, my relationship with Jesus has just grown immensely, and I'm so grateful for that.
I feel like Dono has shown that if you pray and wait on God, God's gonna take care of you. And I mean, Donathan is like, he's a living example of this, because I mean, just in the time that I've been at Called Higher, so many things have happened and so many things have changed, and every time something changes or happens, Donathan prays and waits on God every time, and he takes care of Dono. And so I think that's really neat. It just shows that God takes care of his people.
Before, like going and reading my Bible and praying wasn't a very big, it wasn't a priority in my life until Dono had started making us get up early and start doing the devotions, and then it was kind of like forced on us, but then when we went home, it was like a more natural feeling. It was a lot easier to do on your own.
Dono has been a really great example to me of walking by faith and just putting all his trust in God and then letting him lead, like with what happened with Oliver Hazard Perry and then Scintilla and now moving to St. Pete. Through all of that, he's really shown me what it looks like to just put all your faith in God and let him lead and just doing crazy things for him.
Growing up, I had to take care of my brother, so I felt like I had a very little childhood, so hanging out with all these amazing people and these kids, it was just allowed me to kind of relive what I never had. So just being able to pour into them and love on them and share my gift of cooking, and so it was just great, and I love being there for the girls especially.
My faith has really grown because of Dono. I think in the prayer aspect, one of the things that just the talks and the sermons and the lessons kind of did, it just helped me, learn how to pray and just to sit down and go, okay, this is what I need to do. And I think a way that it's impacted my life is just my entire family. We've never really had something that kind of brings us together. We've always kind of had our separate things, but a way that Called Higher has impacted us is that we actually all do something together. We sail. And my dad goes on the boat, and my mom joins my dad, and it's something that we all do. It's called Higher. And that's what it does.
My favorite spiritual memory with Dono was when he taught us to open our circles, because it really helped me meet new people, since I just moved here, so it encouraged me to meet new people and make new friends and open my circles to people I wouldn't usually be friends with.
And he's really impacted me in my life because he's such a great role model with the way he treats his kids and the way he acts. And that's just impacted me spiritually.
One of the important things that Dono has ever told me is the values of prayer, that you should make it a daily thing. It's something you should always do, part of your life. And ever since he started teaching us about that, I've always been praying a lot more in my life. So that's something I gotta thank him for.
Dono's just been an example for me of how to live a godly life and just putting God first and just walking with God.
I also wanted to say thank you for that awesome preaching of where you took the circle and you made it into a horseshoe, and then took that and made it into a magnet to attract people and open your circle.
He's probably impacted my life with prayer and how to not just think of it as something you have to do, but something to want to do, and how to sit quiet and wait on the Lord and just keep prayer one of the main things in your life.
A way that Dono and his program have impacted me spiritually is just by witnessing Dono and his dedication towards God and the way that he makes God the utmost priority in his life. Seeing Dono move from place to place and take his time and give it to God and trade his desires for God's and just be flexible to what he has. It's really been inspiring to see, and it's definitely changed the way that I interact with God.
I joined Called Higher, I think 2017. It was really new and everyone. I was kind of like an outcast, I didn't know anyone. And within 5 minutes, I started making friends and laughing and getting to know people, and it was just awesome. So one of my spiritual truths that I took away is the Christian brotherhood. It's everyone just comes together on Tuesdays and they talk and they fellowship with each other and talk to each other about their difficulties and everything. I think that's just really special, and no other group that I've ever been to has had that.
I'd say he got me out of my comfort zone a lot, with the choir and then ministering to the hobos and stuff, and that was good in my relationship with God, and it really helped me a lot in a lot of other areas besides Called Higher.
I think one of the biggest things Dono's taught me is to respect my mom. That is a big thing in my life, is respecting my mom, because not growing up with dad, mom had to put on the mom and the dad hat, and she never should have been put in that position. And that is what Dono taught me, was to respect my mom, because she had to put on both those hats my whole life. And I just didn't realize it until now, until I started meeting with Dono and talking with him. And it was at those points where I was going through hard times at school, where Donna would take me out to lunch or to coffee and just talk with me and listen to me, and I really valued that time a lot. One thing that stuck with me was just him always telling me to be patient because my mom is patient with me, and patience is a virtue. And so that's a big thing that Dono's taught me is patience. Patience with myself, with my mom, self-control at home, at school. That's my biggest takeaway.
My favorite lesson from Jonathan was probably learning about Tim and that we can still help him.
When Dono started Called Higher, at least with me and Harry, his message mainly spoke of how one should seek the Lord and to just devote yourself and to worship Him in purity. And that just really spoke through my life. And just like the sincereness of just remaining in Christ and seeking Him first.
I love how we've all learned to wait on God this year and to be patient, and just can't wait to see what God has in store for Called Higher next, because I think it's going to be really awesome. Just thanks again. It's been an amazing year, and I feel like I've just learned so much.
So thank you, Dono.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dono.
Thank you, Dono.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you, Dono.
Thank you, Dono.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you so much, Dono.
Thank you so much, Dono.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Dono, for all the good times at Called Higher.
Hey, Captain, how's it going? I just wanted to say a few words about how blessed it's been for me, and I know everybody else that comes alongside of you and helps with this program Called Higher. I remember when you first made a call to me years ago and told me what you were feeling, the Lord was laying on your heart, and I was just freaking out. And of course you sent me the picture of that big boat. I'm like, no way. But anyway, the trips have been insane. They've been hard at times, but I have nothing but good memories of them. The Lord has always been with us, and I've just been blown away with watching the kids grow in the Lord and in their knowledge of just being adults and sailing and having responsibility. Has been great. I can think back on a lot of funny things. I could talk all night about our stories, you know, being offshore with two boats headed south and you up on the spreaders, taking video for like a half hour underway, throwing sandwiches and food back and forth offshore, underway, just funny stuff. I still appreciate the night that when the squall hit us down in Key Biscayne, down by Key Largo, and you rafted up next to me with my anchor dropped. And then as soon as the squall passed, you just motored away, you know, see you later. And I was left on the bottom after dragging probably 300 yards, where I ended up spending the night at about a 45-degree incline. That was a lot of fun. But you did, I will say, you tried to get us off the bottom until about 11 o'clock. We were killing ourselves trying to get off the bottom there. But anyway, it's all good. I'm not bitter. One time on our first trip with the guys, I really remember the first night or two, you know, the guys going up in the D berth, and as we're all quieting down for the evening, you know, a couple of guys reading the Bible and then discussing the scriptures on their own. I knew what you were doing was an incredible work. So I know the Lord will continue to bless Called Higher, and excited to see what happens in the next step over there in St. Pete, where the sailing is going to be great. So anyway, Lord bless you, man. We'll be praying for you and looking forward to doing more stuff with you.